Katherine Hoops joins us, the Division Chief of Pediatric Critical Care Medicine and Director of Clinical Programs and Practice at the John Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions. Again, this is Katherine Hoops joining us. And Katherine, I'm Connor. It's wonderful to meet you here live on the air. I really appreciate you taking some time with us today.
Likewise. Thanks so much for having me.
Katherine, we're going to talk very specifically here. I think the main focus that we have is on storage of firearms and how that can prevent injury and death. We'll get into some other aspects of this, but I just noticed in so much of the information that you guys have sent to us and that we've done finding on our own is how storage can be so critical to preventing injuries and deaths via firearms. I'm wondering if you could just add more context into why this seemingly simple and easy thing to do is so lost on so many that it leads to so much violence.
Yeah, and well said. Secure storage of firearms, we know, can be life-saving. So secure storage means keeping all firearms unloaded, locked up, and separate from ammunition. And I'm a pediatric critical care physician, and I see the consequences of unsecure firearm storage all too often. When children or vulnerable people have access to firearms that are not secured properly, that access can have deadly consequences. So secure storage acts by interrupting pathways from access to use. So if a firearm is securely stored, a curious toddler, for example, wouldn't be able to access and use it, again, sometimes with deadly consequences. In the same way, an adult who might be considering suicide, going through a hard time, even those few seconds to unlock a cable lock or a gun safe can be life-saving. Those few seconds could be an opportunity to ask for help. So again, as a parent, also of small children, right, we know that kids are curious, and many gun owners think that, the kids in their home don't know where the firearms are stored, but they're curious, right? They find their birthday presents, they find the treats that we're saving for a special occasion, and they'll find the potentially deadly things in our homes too. So secure storage can keep those curious toddlers from finding potentially lethal means in the home, but also prevent suicide, homicide among adults as well. So secure storage is absolutely life-saving.
And, you talk about how you work in pediatric care, and it seems like storage relates so directly to protecting children when it comes to gun violence. And we know how much gun violence has affected children here in the United States. I'm wondering, storage seems like the very top of the list. What are other things that can be done to make sure that children are as safe as possible when it comes to gun violence? What are other precautions that could potentially be taken?
Yeah. So, right, firearms are the leading cause of death among children overall in the United States and young people. So, secure storage we think of as really one of the most important things that can be done to prevent firearm injuries, both unintentional injuries, but also suicides and homicides, especially among youth. But there are a lot of other things that can be done too, right? One, we can require secure storage by law through child access prevention laws, for example. But other strategies, including integrating this type of counseling into clinical visits, for example, with your pediatrician, can help to support secure storage behaviors. Programs in our communities, right, can also interrupt pathways and cycles of violence in our communities and can be really important to getting children headed in a different direction. We also know that licensing strategies can be really effective in reducing gun violence and gun injuries. So there are many, many policies, many interventions that can be protective, but really secure storage is one of the most important things that people can do right now, today, to prevent firearm injuries and deaths in their communities and in their homes.
Now, you mentioned licensing. Can you expand on why that is an important aspect of gun safety?
So, in the same way that firearm storage can put time and space between a firearm, accessing a firearm and use of a firearm, or being around a firearm and use of a firearm, licensing strategies can also put time between thinking about purchasing a firearm and purchasing a new firearm. We know in particular that that can be really effective in reducing firearm suicide, right? Just that time in and of itself can be time to seek help or consider alternatives.
Okay, so just that time can be helpful even. What are some other things I would maybe say for people who are in pursuit of more knowledge about gun safety and gun violence, sort of precaution and protection? What is maybe something that is not as widely known or understood that maybe you would like to express here?
I think that, one, we have a lot more information on our website at everyguneverytime.org, information about secure storage for clinicians, for parents, for, people in the community, advocates, lawmakers, that might add more information about the importance of secure storage. But I think it's important for everyone to know that everyone has a role in the prevention of firearm injuries, right? So for gun owners, if you aren't safely storing your firearms right now, go get a firearm lock, unload it, and lock it up. If you are implementing secure storage, thank you. But also think about other ways in which your firearm might need to be more inaccessible to vulnerable people in the home, right? If you consistently store the key to your gun safe by the back door on your key ring, think about whether or not you need to take additional steps to confer more protections to the people in your home. If you aren't a gun owner, then having a conversation can also be life-saving, right? For parents, in the same way that we talk about allergies before play dates, you can have a conversation with family members and friends before your kids go over for play dates about whether or not there are firearms in the home, and if so, how they're stored. And certainly, if you're worried about someone, ask and support them in implementing secure storage or maybe getting the firearms out of their home for a period of time.
I want to stay on that point about having a conversation. It can be a difficult conversation, a difficult topic to broach. Do you have any suggestions on how to approach that conversation for something that can, for people, can be private, but is also, like you said, something that needs to be talked about, especially when there are children involved, play dates and things like that? How do you have that conversation?
Yeah, there are a lot of great resources on our website to help start those conversations. But I think maybe the most important thing for people to know is that it's not as divisive a topic as you might think. From public opinion polling, we know that the vast majority of Americans agree that secure storage is actually a behavior that we should even require by law, including more than 60% of gun owners. So even though starting the conversation might feel a little bit awkward, you can actually go into that conversation knowing that you're more likely to find agreement than not.
Okay, Catherine, is there anything else that you want to add while we have you here? Anything we didn't ask about that you want to stress?
I think there's a lot of other great information on our website at everyguneverytime.org. So I'd recommend a visit to our website to get more information.
Okay, very good. We appreciate your time here. That is, again, Katherine Hoops from the Pediatric Critical Care Medicine and Director of Clinical Programs, Johns Hopkins Center for Gun Violence Solutions. Catherine, we really appreciate you taking a little bit of time, and we'll be sure to encourage everyone to visit that website.
Thanks so much for having me.
All right, Katherine Hoops joining us live today to talk about Gun Violence Awareness Month, which we are in right now. You saw a press conference we took earlier in Toledo, people wearing orange. That is, when you see people out wearing orange and it seems purposeful, it is likely a representation of Gun Violence Awareness Month. And the big topic that we really wanted to stress there during that particular interview is storage. Safe, storage, secure storage, and how that can save lives. Just that little thing of making sure you are aware and secure in storage of a firearm can help save lives, especially when it comes to children. And again, gun violence, the leading cause of death amongst children here in the United States.